Alright, so this is a separate topic I wanted to bring up. um, I mentioned before in previous videos, but I want to drive this home again. Just like what Super's been doing lately, and then people having to explain the shit out of like episode 100. Oh my god, it's such bullshit. Here's the thing, alright. Um, I keep seeing, well, no, every now and then, what pops up, I see popping up. Some people either outright saying like, "Oh, it's a super," and it's a different series, blah blah blah, kind of implying that it shouldn't. You like, it doesn't really have to work with rules that would have been established in Z, or or what is it that like um every now and then, when someone brings up Super's consistent inconsistency, either using episode 100's bullshit as an example, or other episodes or examples in Super as a instances as examples of Super's inconsistency, that someone brings up counterpoint. Oh well, this and this happened, this and this happened. Oh, DBZ was consistent. Here's the issue. For all its inconsistencies, Z did have some consistency there, especially in terms of power scaling. For the most part, there were still tiers, even though power levels, like in terms of numbers, became less rigid and kind of just less used, and they just were kind of somewhat irrelevant. They weren't completely irrelevant. In terms of tiers, there were still tiers. If you weren't within that tier, get the fuck out. You can't do shit. That's the way it was. That's the way it's always been, from Saiyan Saga to Buu Saga, and End of Z. Okay, so counting Z. End of Z is because it's part of Z. Now here's the problem. When you consider the way Super's been inconsistent lately, and I mean it's been inconsistent a lot, but in terms of power scaling now it's just jarringly just off in comparison to Z, and it's like, what the fuck, and then it's like, here's the issue: Super is not, for people claiming this, Super is not its own series in entirety. I'm not saying that because it's part of the Dragon Ball franchise, obviously. But so it's not completely separate from the franchise, of course, fucking not. But it's not separate in the sense that GT was, in the sense that Dragon Ball was. You know why? Because it takes place within two parts of Z, between the end of Buu arc and the end of Z itself. Therefore, it's a part of Z. It is a part of it. There's no there's no way to realistically separate the two. Logically speaking, it's part of Z. Therefore, it should operate within Z's rules. And I've said this many times, said it a few times in a couple videos, and I've said it in comments here or there. It should operate within Z's rules. There's no, for the sake of continuity, there's no fucking way, unless they retcon it to the end of Super, or make a new end of Z retcon it. I wouldn't be surprised. But until then, it is breaking some of these rules. You don't have a series that takes place in between a prior series, a real-time prior series, but chronologically, it's not prior. It's you just kind of like cutting a slice in between it, and just being injected in. Like, here's Super, and then here's Z. Z's before and after, so you just like a small, Super's just like a small slice of it. Chronologically speaking, it's not prior. It's only prior to the end of Z. Therefore, it's part of Z. You don't change it. You don't just ignore rules that are gonna apply after the fact, like after this ends, and be like, oh well, it's a different series, we can throw it out the way. No, fuck no, you can't do that. I mean, you can, but like it destroys what consistency, internal consistency you have that you had before, and that's a problem narratively. Um, so I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know why some people keep, you know, these arguments that I hear sometimes, like, oh, bringing up Z's inconsistencies is kind of almost, almost sort of like a count, like to try and counter the fact that Super's wildly inconsistent. That's not a real counter argument. And then there's another one, the one who I've seen outright said that Super's a different series. It's not. I mean, essentially, it isn't. Um, it's just what happened in the time skip between End of Boo and End of Z. So therefore, it's essentially just what happened in that within that little time frame in Z. Therefore, it's essentially a part of Z. There's no real reason to treat it as a different series. You know, unless it just continues on this outrageous path of just fucking just being a weird ass diversion from what Z was, to the point where you kind of just have to make shit up towards the end and be like, oh, this was all a dream, or retcon Z's ending so that it makes sense, because right now it doesn't make sense. It's getting farther and farther away from the continuity. I can tell you one place it already kind of fucked up and already stopped right then and there, made things really questionable. Soon as was it by episode 30, before the Universe 6 tournament started, Goku mentions to Vegeta, he brings up Oob, and it's like, I'm not the first person to say this, but again, it's like, what? Why are you bringing up Oob right now? How does that work? How do you bring up Oob right now, and then fucking at the end of Z, maybe about 5 or so years later, you bring him up again, as if, and you're being all vague about it, like like you were by that time, and Vegeta's all confused again, doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and then you bring it up again in the tournament. Vegeta's all surprised. How was he surprised when he heard about it 5 fucking years ago? And then here's the thing. I mean, the only reason I can think of is, oh well, maybe he forgot. Why would he forget? What reason is there for him to forget? I'm not saying he couldn't forget at all, but I'm saying he hasn't been shown in series to have any reason to forget something that important. I mean, so it's not really a realistic explanation. So right then and there, the continuity is being broken. I mean, that's just one example, but it's already fucking up the continuity. That's why I'm saying, like, for people who make arguments that suggest Super should be different or looked at as differently than Z, it doesn't make any sense, because again, it's essentially a part of Z. All it is what happened in those 10 years between this part of Z and that part of Z. That part of Z. Therefore, it is essentially a part of Z. Therefore, it should operate within Z's rules. There's no reason why it should divert from that. So, I just want to say that anyone using that fucking argument to make it seem like they're different, it's bullshit. Stop doing this bullshit. You know what you're talking about. Not trying to sound mean. I'm just saying, I'm just getting tired of arguments that don't really have any substance to them. Don't make sense when you would get into it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, I just swallowed the camera there. Sorry. Anyway, next time.